Ambulance, also starring Garrett Dillahunt, Keir O'Donnell, who, by the way, is he's the tummy sticks weirdo kid from Wedding Crashers. He's all grown up, and Jackson White are in this movie. 67% of Rotten Tomatoes. This is in theaters now, and is adapted from a 2005 Danish film. Anderson, a question for you. You're a fan of films.
I like them, yes.
Would you call Michael Bay a visionary director?
No, I would not, Brian.
I wouldn't either. But he does have a distinctive signature style. Like Michael Bay has a style almost unto himself. In fact, you could easily parody it. You know what I mean? Like,
here's what I can say.
It would be obviously Michael Bay.
About Michael Bay. He's like, this is going to sound like it's absolutely wrong to everyone involved, but he's like Christopher Nolan's like stupid brother. No, I'm not talking about Christopher Nolan's actual brother. Yeah, John. Is it John?
Jonathan.
Yeah. No, I'm not talking about like if they both came from money and they both were offered giant budgets to make movies. They both share some DNA, and he uses every inch of that frame for spectacle and scope. I'm talking about Bay right now, and it's just not the kind of thing I want to see filling up a screen, but he really does when he's not dealing with CGI too. Like I think his weakness is when he's working with the old Transformers over there. He doesn't know how to direct that kind of thing. But if he's got some really Pain and Gain's got some amazing compositions.
He's a master with the camera. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
But much like Nolan, the characters are lacking very often. And he doesn't respect his audience because I think that he might be making a movie that he would want to see.
I'd have to really think about it, but I think Michael Bay might have more.
Oh my God. You're about to say something very embarrassing
that
you'll regret.
But I'm thinking about it, and I don't think I'm wrong. I think he has a longer list, a deeper roster of three-dimensional characters, longer than Christopher Nolan.
I mean, that doesn't say a whole lot.
What?
Christopher Nolan's characters are pretty goddamn weak. Some of his deepest characters he's ever been involved with are from Dark Knight. Yeah. All right.
Anyway, the guy. So Michael Bay is clearly a master with the camera and clearly has ability. And watching this movie, all I can think of, I wish he would make something new, because much like our listener said in Fanflections, I forget her name, but it was the comment was something along the lines of keeps making the same old movie, and I'm like, yeah, this is old filmmaking. I'm watching a movie from the 90s that has 2022 crispness to it. Like it's not. This is an old movie. I feel like a remake of something like not even as good as The Rock. I wish I could give it a better. But that said, this is not a bad movie. It's acceptable. It's a decent way to pass 2 hours and 10 minutes. So the idea is that there's bank robbers and Gyllenhaal and Yahya Abdul-Mateen. Wouldn't you know it, Anderson? They're brothers. They grew up in the same household.
How do you find out?
It's mentioned once or twice. Actually, probably 5,000 times.
Is the word brother used?
You're my brother.
Do they do that?
You're my brother.
Do they do that?
There's a lot of that.
Jesus Christ.
Come on, Dad didn't do this just for us to end up like this.
Look, I know that not everyone's genius. I get that.
They keep reminding.
I just can't believe that the majority of the movie-going audience needs this kind of slather.
It's the reminders are plentiful.
Just in case. See, like that's a dumb person going like the audience is going to be lost. We got to remind them because I know I'd be lost. Like that's kind of like a
like they don't look anything like brothers. Let's keep reminding everyone that they are in fact brothers.
Are they black and white?
Yeah. It's from Candyman. The main character.
Yeah. Okay, then maybe.
But I feel like an hour and a half into the movie to keep explaining.
Spieley does it, dude. Spieley reminds people with flashbacks, sloppy flashbacks that have no point of being right there, and he'll show you like, just in case you're lost, here's this. And I get lost in movies. That's part of the fun of fucking watching movies. Is trying to figure shit out and train yourself to pay attention to what's going on. And maybe you got to watch it a second time. We're gonna do The Empty Man here in a little bit. That movie's tough to fucking follow. It's really tough to follow. And they don't lead you to water, and that's part of what makes that movie very enjoyable. All right.
Yeah.
Anything else about Ambulance?
Yeah, we got a lot more. We got a lot more. No, not that much more. This is a 3-star movie. It's acceptable. It's not going to reinvent any aspect of filmmaking. 90% of the movie takes place in an ambulance that is often moving. It's called Ambulance. So you'd probably expect that. And with this reminded me, maybe the best thing to come out of me seeing this movie is we have been tabling for a long time. We should get around to it because it's a big, juicy topic. Top 5 charismatic villains. Because Jake Gyllenhaal, he is the driving force. He's like the bank robber, right? The FBI is on his tail for years, and he recruits. So Yaya, his wife, has cancer. They never actually say that, but old Eagle Eye over here saw when they show her pill bottles, on the countertop. She has a bottle of Von.
There's not a scene where he says, "You're my wife and you have cancer."
They talk about experimental surgery. He's on the phone with the insurance company trying to get it covered. I don't think they ever say the word cancer, but she's taking anti-nausea medication they give you for chemotherapy, which I know because I have some.
Well, I understand why you would know that, Brian. You're doing that thing that they do in the movie. All right, you're explaining to me why you would know. Mm-hmm.
That said, Jake Gyllenhaal is the charismatic villain. He ropes his brother into the thing. Brother comes to him for money. He's like, I need $200,000. He's like, hey, I'm going to get you $8 million. And next thing you know, they're knocking over a bank. To its credit, the movie gets into the action in about 8 minutes. It does not take long for them to rob the bank.
Most good action movies open with a set piece, a sequence, action sequence.
That doesn't happen here.
Well, that's kind of with the new rules.
It opens with Yaya on the phone with insurance.
In fact, that's a trope to the point that Guardians of the Galaxy 2, the opening title sequence, if you recall, was kind of like yawning at the big giant action.
Yeah, they're like
piece.
having a huge outer space battle.
It was all background as we watched baby Groot dance.
Yeah, that's right.
That was they were poking fun at that formula.
Trope. It's fine. There's nothing special about Ambulance.
I'm looking at the original right here, which I'm not familiar with. It looks interesting. 1.3, 1,300 ratings on IMDb, which is pretty low, and it's 5.3, which is lower than a movie called Groupers.
Oh boy.
So it's funny. I wonder how this property was brought to Mr. Giant Big Michael Bay. I like this. I like it when you take a smaller movie like this and give it some heft. I
think by Michael Bay standards, this counts as like a small movie. The budget was probably $80 million.
I get sad, and I think about how it's like a world, business, and how they're just selling the territories before they even, shoot a frame. And they know
this translates well, I imagine.
Yeah, it's just a sad state of affairs.
To other countries.
Yeah. A lot of resources.
I will say that if I know Anderson, you like you like LA on film. This has a lot of LA on film, especially downtown.
They probably shot it in Atlanta.
It would be very, 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 very different.
What do you like more, this one or?
The budget's $40 million according to the old Wikipedia.
Bringing Out the Dead or Ambulance? What do you like more?
Oh God, there's a very different movie.
The fact that you're sitting here trying to figure it out and saying instead of just immediately saying one or the other is shocking. But not so much, and that's what's sad. He's still thinking. He's still trying to figure out if he likes Scorsese's Bringing Out the Dead more than Michael Bay's Ambulance. Now, I'm trying to think
if I had to see one.
I've not seen Ambulance, so I shouldn't even weigh in here. But the fact,
to be fair, I haven't seen Bringing Out the Dead. But let me decide.
All right, let's move on. Jesus Christ.